How do you guarantee your weight loss? And not only guarantee it, but the first step is how do you believe that your weight loss is guaranteed? So that before you even start trying to lose weight, you know in your mind that you 100% are going to successfully lose the weight, right? Because at this point here, that's probably not how you feel. You probably think about losing weight and you just feel like it's not going to happen, right? If you've been trying to lose weight for decades here and it hasn't been successful, it would be normal and natural to create the belief that I can't do it. And the idea of guaranteed weight loss feels impossible, right? So how do you get to the point where you feel that sense of guarantee, that sense of certainty that not only can you lose the weight, but you can keep it off forever? Right? That's the big question. So how do you make that happen? Starting with where you're at right now. And so what I would suggest to you is that you need to focus on your mindset first, and specifically the way that you're thinking about weight loss. Like, this is what we talk about when we talk about mindset. There's different components to it, but one part is how you think of the process of losing weight. Because right now what happens usually is when people think about losing weight, they're thinking about it in a short-term time frame. Right? All the dieting marketing that we've been exposed to in our lives, when we think about weight loss, we think about it as a temporary thing. And as soon as we think about it as a temporary thing, we just want to diet to lose the weight. The next thought becomes, well, I want to do it as fast as possible. Right? If it's going to be a short-term thing to me to get down to my goal weight, if I'm going to do it and it's going to be hard, let's just go all the way and do it completely and make it as fast as possible and get to my weight as quickly as I can. And the next step that goes after that one is, well, if I'm going to do it for a short period of time and I want to make it as fast as possible, then I'm going to have to do the most extreme plan. And so this mindset of how we approach weight loss kind of stacks up on itself, where we think of it as a short-term thing just to get to our goal weight. We want to do as fast as possible, and then we want to use the most extreme plan that we can do to make it as fast as possible and to, get the quickest results. So that's where we have to start when we talk about mindset, changing the way we think about, from thinking about it as a short-term process of losing weight to a long-term process of losing weight for a little bit of time so that we can get to our goal weight. And then, this is the key part, live at our goal weight for the rest of our lives on near autopilot. See, that's the big distinction here, mindset-wise, is that you're going to go from, I want to lose weight, to I want to return to my goal weight and live the rest of my life at my goal weight on near autopilot, which is a much more accurate description of what you actually want. And so when you start with this outcome, this goal, instead of just losing weight, it automatically changes a lot of the ways that you think about this, right? Because now it's not a short-term thing. Now this is a long-term thing. How can I live at my goal weight for the rest of my life, right? And that's a big shift in how you're thinking about this. And so now we've extended the time frame, and now it doesn't have to just be, well, I'll do anything I can to lose the weight. Now it becomes, what strategies can I use to not only lose the weight, but maintain it forever? These are completely different strategies. Do you see? Again, if we're thinking in short terms, we'll do anything. We can do anything for a little while. We'll do water fast. We'll starve ourselves. We can do a lot of extreme things for a little while to lose weight. Once we change our time frame and our mindset to being forever, we start automatically beginning to look for more sustainable methods. And more sustainable methods are usually a lot easier and more comfortable, right? Think about this. The average person, when they want to lose weight, they start their diet on day one. And oftentimes they're cutting 50, 60% of their calories just instantly, day one, right? Because the average American's consuming around 2,700 calories. The average diet's telling you to eat about 1,200 calories. They've upped that a little bit, but that's where it's been at. That's a 65% reduction. That's very intense to maintain. And so when you understand that when you look at short-term weight loss, you're looking, again, it leads to a strategy of extreme measures, and extreme measures we don't want to do. And so again, didn't this start with how we guarantee our weight loss? Yes, but we need to change the way we're thinking about the process. That's how you start to guarantee your weight loss. Because if you make your weight loss about doing extreme things for a little while, you're resisting it because it's so difficult, and it's short term. And so as soon as we start thinking long term, we find more sustainable, comfortable measures to make that happen. And now the resistance to doing those things starts to fade. And now we start getting in the ballpark of how do we guarantee our results? Because the thing you need to feel a sense of certainty that you can absolutely guarantee your weight loss results is to get rid of all this emotion that comes with the dieting. right? Because it's such an overcorrection that on that day one, it's overwhelming. It's very overwhelming to cut 50, 60% of your calories, to think that you're going to eat perfectly, that maybe you're going to go to the gym now. You're going to do everything perfect starting on one day and think you're going to maintain that to your goal weight. That is a very tall order. And it's very difficult. And so there's lots of stress and pressure and anxiety with that path, right? Because we're trying to do so much instantly, right? So the other option, what we're talking about here, and this is how you lead yourself to feel a sense of guarantee, before you actually get the guaranteed results, is that you're setting yourself on a lifelong path of creating a lifestyle, a way of thinking, and a way of living and eating that allows you to live at your goal weight for the rest of your life on your autopilot. Okay. And so it's this long-term approach. And so we don't have to fix everything all at once, right? Once we extend the time frame, we can slow down. There's a saying that people overestimate how much weight they can lose in a month and underestimate how much weight they can lose in a year. And so we want to extend these time frames and relax. Let's make the process more enjoyable and comfortable. Yes, the results will come a little slower, but we're giving up the fast results for long-term results, you see? Because you keep getting in this loop where, excuse me, you're trying to fix everything all at once and it's too much. And that's how you think about weight loss at this point. I know it's difficult for you to separate weight loss from dieting. So I'm telling you what an alternative plan is here is that you approach your weight loss more strategically, more slowly, so that you can not just lose weight quickly, but you can build yourself up and set yourself up for long-term success so that after a couple months or a couple years, when you get to your goal weight, you're in a position that you never have to worry about weight again because you've now figured out a way that's customized around you to live at your goal weight, and it works for you. And because you developed it systematically and slowly, and you've gotten used to it, it's much easier to maintain. So you've got to get off of that roller coaster, and you've got to get yourself on a path of slow, sustainable weight loss, because the weight loss is just a phase, right? Remember that. You don't want to lose weight. You want to live at your goal weight. The weight loss part is just a phase that's going to take a couple weeks, months, or years. And then you're going to be at your goal weight. And then the real process starts, which is you living at your goal weight. Because again, if I ask you, how long do you want to keep the weight off for? Well, forever, right? So start day one setting yourself up for that goal. The dieting does not, right? It's an extreme overreaction to wanting to lose weight quickly, and it's unsustainable. And you rarely sustain it, right? And so it becomes right off the bat about really articulating a different process. And this is how you guarantee your weight loss, is you change the way that you're thinking about it. Because once you slow this process down a little bit, once you make it easier, more strategic, you can keep adding things into your lifestyle and in your eating behaviors that help you get to your goal weight. And you can do it systematically. So instead of starting with cutting all the calories out all at once, you can look at your lifestyle as it is right now and pick your worst habit. What's your worst eating habit? And then go to work on fixing that while maybe simultaneously starting to drink some more water. You see, it's a slow strategic approach to it. But again, after a month of that, right, now you're starting to drink more water regularly and you've got some strategies that have helped you reduce your worst eating habit. And because you haven't tried to do everything at once, you have strategies and you practiced fixing this worst eating habit you have. And now after a month, it's easy for you to you've gotten rid of it, right? Now you move on to the next one and you focus on that one and you go through this process. And so, yes, the first month you didn't lose as much weight as if you just cut all the calories out. But after a month, you're now set up for long-term success. Do you see? Because now you move on to the second habit. In the third month, you move on to the third habit, but it's all sustainable. And that's what no one ever thinks about is what happens, never mind the first month, what happens month 2? What happens month 6? What happens 1 year from now? That's what you have to start orienting yourself to. And when you do, you start to believe that I could master my weight. And I think if you really internalize this concept and idea, I think you're going to find that it very quickly brings you to a feeling of confidence and a sense of certainty that I can guarantee that I'm going to get good results if I do it slowly and strategically. So think about this and see how it impacts you.